Hello, my name is Sarah and I'm a pre-sales engineer at RSM. In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating NetSuite's transaction email bill capture functionality, which is the equivalent of OCR for vendor bills. The first step to using this feature is to download the transaction email capture bundle into your NetSuite environment. You can see the bundle here as well as the bundle ID. However, please note that this is a paid bundle and there are tiers of pricing based on the amount of transactions that would be captured using this bundle on a monthly basis. If you navigate to Customization, Plugins, and Manage Plugins, this is where you can view the transaction email capture email address that NetSuite will use for capturing those emails and generating vendor bills into NetSuite. Typically, what organizations will do is will use their standard AP email address and set up a forwarding process so that any vendor bills that are sent to the AP email address then forward to the NetSuite capture email address so those can be synced to NetSuite. Also, on the vendor record, you can add multiple email addresses for transaction email capture here on this tab. The email addresses defined on the vendor record helps the system validate the sender of the email. Once your setup is complete, the vendor bills will start rolling into NetSuite. And where you can view those vendor bills that have been entered through OCR is on the Scanned Vendor Bills page. This page here is going to show you all of your outstanding vendor bills that are awaiting creation after user review. And for the ones that have already been reviewed, then you can see the view action is here to view the corresponding vendor bill that was created in NetSuite. Let's now simulate the process of a vendor bill being brought into NetSuite through the vendor bill scanning. Now, this is relevant for email capture or also just scanning, dragging and dropping from your computer, or just taking a file attachment from an email and posting it into NetSuite. Regardless of the source, this is going to be the page. And you can actually see on the source tab, you can see if it was uploaded or if it was captured through email. I'm going to take a file from my desktop and drop it into here, and that will start the scanning and upload process. Once that is done, you can see I have the option to review this file, which I'll select that now. The left-hand side of the screen gives me a visual of the file that was uploaded, and then the right-hand side is what was matched in NetSuite. So I can take some time here to then make adjustments if necessary. I can see the values that were scanned versus what NetSuite matched them to and evaluate if there's any discrepancies. And then I can also add segmentation or just fill in some values that aren't on the vendor bill. At the bottom, NetSuite is going to match the bill to either an expense line or items line, but I do have the option to move them. As you can see, as I'm hovering over this expense line, I have the option to move to item subtab, and same thing on the item subtab. So I can adjust in case it was coded incorrectly. And as we go back to the expenses tab, we can see here that NetSuite is alerting me that there is a purchase order that matches this transaction and can be linked to this line. As I expand the options here, I can review any purchase orders that NetSuite found as a match. Fortunately, there's just the one, so I'll select this and add this as a PO match to this vendor bill. After I've validated all of the coding for this vendor bill, I can select Create Bill, in which NetSuite will then generate the vendor bill record in the NetSuite platform. Then once that vendor bill is created, the approval process can still run as it normally would. It can surpass the approvals, but you can control how you would like that interaction to occur. On this vendor bill, we can also see that on the Communication tab under File Attachments, that NetSuite's going to automatically attach a copy of that invoice to the corresponding record. It's important to note that the bill capture OCR functionality is a learning AI. So NetSuite will start to recode vendor bills similarly if it notices trends between vendors or subsidiaries, but it's still a working in progress tool. So there are some limitations to it. One of the most noted limitations is the fact that it's only available in the United States and only supports the US dollar currency. More information can be found on Suite Answers and the NetSuite website. But thank you for watching this overview of NetSuite Bill Capture. Any additional questions, you should speak to your account manager or an RSM representative.